Alright, welcome back to another episode. And in this video, I'll be doing weekly analysis on some pairs, which include gold, oil, and silver. So let's start from gold, and then we move to some other pairs. I want you to watch this video from the beginning to the end. You would, or you might definitely learn one or two things in this video. Alright, so basically on gold, right? What I am still saying is still bullish, right? And I'm going to tell you what I am still saying, right? In every trade I take, I love to see a daily range before I take any trade. So let's go into start from the monthly time frame, going back to the 1 hour chart. So I would end all of my analysis at 1 hour chart only. I will not go below that. Now on gold, right, this is what I want to be seeing. We have this external eye right here, and then which means market, I mean you can call it sell side liquidity, which means market needs to what, take out this eye. I don't want to know anywhere it wants to come from. Market has to take out this eye, needs to be taken away. So that is it. So now we know, we already see a buy side liquidity on the higher time frame, which means that I is saying we are going to be buying to be to for that I to be taken away, right? So now let's move to the 1 week time frame, right? And then let's follow the structure. So on the 1 week time frame, what I can say, right, is that we have a daily range. We have this low and we have this high, right? We have this high, our daily range. To understand. So that is the dealing range we have actually. So since we have this dealing range, which means we are still buying, right? We are still buying. So where do we want to buy from? So I would be able to be marking this last order block right here, right, on this weekly chart. This is a weekly analysis, weekly forecast, and follow me through the structural movement. We have a break of structure right here, which tells a lot, right? We have a break of structure right here. We also have a break of structure right here. But this break of structure, after a break of structure, this is our first pullback, which can mean engagement right here. Is that not it? Therefore, our internal structure right here, we have this liquidity draw here. So we would be waiting for market to take out this liquidity, and then let's see what market wants to do. So we have this liquidity right here, this sell side liquidity right here. Sell side, sorry, sell side liquidity, sell side liquidity. That's what we have right there. So now we already have this last other block. We have about two other blocks right here, which has not been mitigated, this and this. So we would be marking all of those other blocks that market would try to reject, because this is our daily range from this low to this high is our daily range. Do you understand? So that is, I want to be buying on the weekly time frame. Now let's go to the daily time frame, and then let's see the structural movement very well. Right, I said this is our break of structure, right, right here. Let me adjust it properly. And this happens to be our first pullback on the weekly chart, which is what, engagement at the end, right? This engagement perhaps takes out liquidity before it pushed up, um which needs to be what seen also. Now this point is a sell side liquidity, that is we want to be seeing market sell further right towards this level to push up, right? This is what I would be seeing. And now for us to sell, we want to look for sell because we have to sell to target this liquidity. And then we have to buy to target this liquidity. So that we can see our daily low, our daily high, right? Right? So, but there's something I want to show you guys. This is it. This is what I want to show you guys. This point we have a liquidity low, sorry, a liquidity right at this low right here. What am I trying to say? This is it. Market created this liquidity. It means this daily time frame we are looking for buys, right? But market has to sell, complete whatever it wants to complete before we what? Before we buy. Do you understand? So this is also trend lines resting right here. You understand? This is also trend lines resting right here. And then this is also a liquidity level. Excuse me, I guess the network is doing somehow. But this is also a liquidity level right here. Right, that is market knows everyone's thinking. Market knows what trader A, trader B to Z is thinking. So they will be interested to buy, and then till it takes out this low before we have something like this. Do you understand? So this is what we are looking for. But currently, on this daily chart, we do not have a daily range to sell, right? We do not have a daily range until market takes out this low. Market takes out this low, right? Then we can have a daily range to sell. You understand? To come back to take out this level so that we can buy further. So this is my analysis for the my forecast on gold. Let me make it clearer for you guys. And then I'm going to save this also very well so that we can always look for opportunities to buy this market. Are we together, please? Now, before we look for buy, I mean, we have to sell, of course. So now this is our forecast for the long bullish move, right? But we have to sell so we can buy. That is the main move. Because of we want to buy, we wouldn't just be waiting for market to come directly to here and then be missing a lot of pips. Once you calculate all of these pips, you say it is almost about 7,000 pips, right? It is almost 7,000. It is 6,710 pips. So we would not just be forgetting that pips, like wasting that pips. We have to sell to make some daily bread. Let me put it that way. So since we want to make some daily bread, like I said, on this particular daily time frame, we did not have a daily range to sell. What we only have is a daily range to buy. Do we get that? That's only what we have. It's a daily range to buy. We are not having a daily range to sell. Now, let's now go to the lower time frame. Let's look for um a day trading entry, because now I have already given the analysis, you know, to buy after this liquidity is taken out and then to come back to take out this liquidity. That is the analysis I am dropping right here. So now this analysis I am dropping, it's for the long term. But for us to day trade, let's go to the 1 hour chart. I mean 4 hours chart, sorry. and then let's see the structural movement. Like I said, I will not go beyond 1 hour chart. Now, as you can see that everything that is happening is still internal structure. So therefore, we do not have a dealing range, right? All of this happening, it is still on internal structure. So now, what do we want to look for? We want to look for the current trend. If you would see this, you would see that market has, right? Market has this. So therefore, we have a break of structure, transfer of break of structure. Right here, we have the first pullback that takes place. And beside that, we have, this is a change of character. Why? Because market had a transfer of change of character on this 4 hours time frame right here. So I'll just say this is a change of character right here. Therefore, we know that everything we want to be doing is sell, right? But we do not have a daily range. But we can look for daily range on the lower time frame just to look for, look for opportunities. Now, on a normal neutral ground, I was expecting or anticipating for market to tap right here, right? To just sweep away this level and then give me a change of character, right? But unfortunately, market did not do any of that. It didn't give me change of character. So as soon as it breaks right here, what I was waiting for is want market to come back right from this sweep towards this high, pretending as if it wants to what break this level and then sweep it below to sell further. But instead, market did not. Market came back, just didn't come back properly, and did what? And gave a break of structure, even when it is not visible on this 4 hours chart. It is not visible on this 4 hours chart, right here. So I will be showing you what I want to look for. So it means I want to see market expect this zone, look for sell. That is what I will be looking for on this 4 hours time frame. Take out this eye, right, and then look for sell further towards this level. Right, this is the daily trade and daily entry or day trade entry that I would be giving out to you people. So I said I will not go beyond 1 hour time frame. Then let's see why that point looks like an important level. Right, as soon as market was dropping, market drop right here, pull back, break structure, pull back, and break structure. Now, when market was creating this, we did not have what? We did not have, uh, uh, I mean, pulls inside this push down. When market was dropping, we did not have bulls dropping. I mean, along the road, there is no a barrier, there is no a bump, there is no an hold up, there is no a traffic, right? Which means that as soon as market moves right here, market is supposed to move crazily upward and then use this as liquidity and then sell. But we do not see any liquidity that market actually use right here. So we have a break of structure right here. Yes. Let me show you. We have a break of structure right here. Yes. Since we have a break of structure, forget this fact that this is internal structure. This is, excuse me, this is internal structure. And then if market is going to buy, market should break this point. All right, then we can buy upward. Right. So this is my analysis on the 4 hours chart. Sorry, on my 4 hours chart, this is my analysis that I will be looking for. Right, so let's look into another chart. This is my analysis that I'll be looking for what to do on 4 hours chart. Let's look into US oil, like I promised. So US oil, let me delete all of this. Now US oil, has been pumping higher, but it's giving a bullish move. But I am not seeing a break of structure aside from this 4 hours time frame. Now let's start from the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, we can see how market came ahead to clear out all of this liquidity. And then this liquidity is the closest liquidity the market should also aim, right? So this is also the closest liquidity because around this monthly time frame, we have a change of character right here. But right here is our inducement if this liquidity was not there. All right, so and meanwhile, if we have that, let's see the weekly time frame. What does the weekly time frame hold? All right, you can see that the weekly time frame is also ready to push above and take away this high. So this also is the liquidity resting above it right here. The buy side liquidity. And until this buy side liquidity is taken away, then we can say we want to see perhaps a change of character to sell, right? Or perhaps a continuation. And market wants to continue after this is broken. Right after this is broken, we want to see either a continuation like this before we can decide. But right now we can have a target where the market is aiming forward to. Right. So we just want to follow that target by making it uh by following the bullish movement. So right here we have this CRT concept, which means that this level, right, is bullish, and then they will be aiming for this eye. This is it. So let's now move to 1 hour time frame. Let's move to 1 hour time frame. So on our 1 hour time frame, do we see a change of character? Yes, we saw a change of character, which it's around here. We have a transfer of change of character right here. The market came back following this order block, right, to buy. Therefore, we want to also see market keep on buying. So if I'm going to see market keep on buying, I want to see market come into this level, take away this low, take away this low to buy. This is it. I want to see market take away this low to buy. So I want to see something like this. Market drops, then change character, then buy towards the side. So this is my forecast on US oil, right? This is my forecast on US oil. This is what I am projecting on US oil. Now let's go to the dollar index, right? Let's see what the dollar index holds. So whatever the dollar index holds is what we'll be able to use to analyze the euro, GBP, USD, CHF, any pair that has US dollar in it. So now on this DXY, we'll start from the monthly time frame, which must at least give us a good information. Now on the dollar index, what I'm seeing right now is this low, this high, which means I have a daily range inside it. So that is, I want market to go bullish. That is, it should move bullish. Now, what aside from this daily range, I want to see liquidities lining up inside of that. Uh, yeah, in this daily range. I have this break of structure right here, right? Which also have this change of character, but also market change this character by breaking it above right here. This means what? This means that everything happening right here is bullish, right? Until this low is broken away
before we say we are bearish on DXY. So now, where do we expect to buy? Personally, I can see this internal structure as this double bottom, right, and then change character right here. So this double bottom itself is giving me uh, a huge meaning that market might sweep out this double bottom and then buys. That is it, right? But I am not saying that is the analysis. Market can do that. So anywhere I've seen a double bottom, I'm always careful to trade that because they are liquidity. Then if you check what happens, right? This is unmitigated order block right here, which market would try as much as possible to come and mitigate it. Therefore, traders buying, right, because it is within range, will be setting is or a stop loss right below this point because this low is the protected point only, not this point. They won't understand. So now, at least we've seen the buyers on the monthly time frame. Now let's see what happens because for you to come into this level, it has to do some crazy things. Now, right now, I can see market doing this liquidity level right here, right? This is a liquidity level right here, right? The approach of liquidity, market is trying to be ranging, right? If you can focus on the chart properly, and which means it is giving previous movement, right? Trying to occur right here. Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. They will see that. So, of course, if we want to take that, we have to be careful taking such trade. So now let's now go deeper into the lower time. We've seen a liquidity right below right here, right? So therefore, on the monthly time frame, I just want to believe market wants to take away this high and look for means to sell further to this point, right? That is what I want to see market do. But we cannot just justify that. We have to see the weekly time frame do something similar. Now, these are liquidity resting right here, right? Do not forget that. Therefore, this point holds the what? Because we have a break of structure right here. And at this point, should not make market to break it above. This is the weekly time frame. This point serves as liquidity, which means market should aim this high to target and then it begins to sell. But before it begins to sell, at least we want to buy because we cannot leave market to just keep on buying and then waste all of those pips while buying and while waiting for the sell. So we want to look for the buys and then before we can take the sell. So what is market doing right here? Market perhaps internally change this character internally. Right, this is a break of structure below and then change character, right? So if market is actually changing character, then we want to see this inducement according to my strategy, right? I want to see market keys or sweep that liquidity there, right? And then pushed up. This is what I want to see on the weekly time frame. So if we go through the daily time frame, we'll see that this point is still liquidity. Here's market change character. That is this point. We want market to just sweep somehow and before it pushed up, right? On that. Now on this daily time frame, what I could see right now is what market trying to take out this low towards this level, right? If it does that, it means our analysis coming into this zone, either kiss it or sweep it. I mean, kiss it or sweep it, right? Still holds. So therefore, this is what I'll be waiting for on DXY. Do you understand? So if we want to now look for pairs on GU and EU and the likes, we want to be seeing the opposite. Is that not it? So let's check into GU, EU, and other pairs that holds USD.
All right. So let's move to GBP US dollar. Right. So on GBP US dollar, do not forget that we want to be seeing buy to sell on the DXY. So of course we want to see the opposite on GU, EU, uh, what other pair that hold USD as quote, right? So now let's first of all go back to the monthly time frame. Let's see what the monthly time frame holds. Now on the monthly time frame, we have this aim, right? We have this target here. We have this target here on the monthly time frame, right? But on the other hand, we have a break of structure right here, right? We have a break of structure right here. Then we have this low, which caused that break of structure, which means that no matter whatever market wants to do, market should not break past this level, this low, right? But the daily range on this higher time frame, I mean this monthly time frame, is this. That is, we are selling. You understand? This is the daily range. This is the low, which caused break of structure, and therefore we want to be looking for further sell. That is the daily. That is the daily range. We want to be looking for further sell, right, to target this point right here. That is it. But before we do that, market has to, do some things, obey some things before it actually goes that way. Now we have this low, which I would label as protected low. That is, market should always come obeying this point, then before pushing upward. Is that not what we're expecting? So now, since we already have this aim that we want to target, that is, we should have a low which should serve as a protected low, right? So let's move to the weekly time frame. Now we want to buy to sell. That is what we are looking for on GU right now. So therefore on GU, I can say this, which it's actually giving us a sign to sell, right? So this is the low we are going to be aiming for take profit whenever we are selling. Now, on this weekly chart, I can say this internal change of character, which add a transfer, which means should be looking for sell so we can target this low, right? We should be looking for sell so we can target this low. That is it, right? On this weekly time frame. Now, how do we now look for sell? Let's go to the daily time frame. Of course, we know that we want to sell on the uh, weekly time frame. So we want to be looking for sell our buyers or to be sell buyers. Because of we are looking for sell, we should not go further to be looking for buy on the higher time frame. So we have a transfer of break of structure right here. Right, we have this transfer of break of structure right here, which means we have a change of character practically. Now, yes, following this is trend line, right? This is trend line, which means as soon as this low is taken away, you target this high. That is it, right? As soon as that low is taken away, we should target that high. So I then can see that internal structure, we have this trend line. Market is actually trying to, clear away. So now what do we now do? This is the daily time frame protected high. This is daily time frame protected high, which means that I don't want market to break that point above. If it does break it above, then we have a change of character because market has been dropping break of structure, right? So we want to be seeing that break of structure continuously. But if market now change that, break this point with a body above, it means we want to buy to target all of this high. Why? Because we have a trend line liquidity resting right here. Do we get that? Now, when do we not sell? I would only sell on this daily time frame when market takes out this low and breaks it below. That is, I see something like this, then I do what? I sell on the daily time frame. So let's look how it is on. Let's start from the 4 hours time frame before we move into the weekly. Sorry, 1 hour time frame. Right. This is our break of structure, which was I don't think it was transferred, but this is our break of structure right here. Then we have this change of character, which actually made the price to move up. Right. We have this change of character, which actually made this price to move up following this point, right? And then this is also another liquidity grab and change of character which traders will be buying from, right? That is why this low is the low I want market to take away before I buy, sorry, before I sell. As long as market breaks that point below, then I would not be interested to sell further. Do you understand? So this is it. So we'll be interested to sell further, right, uh, on this GBP US dollar, and to target where? To target this liquidity point right here. They will understand. So that is it. This is what I am expecting. So look at how it is on wow, 1 hour time frame. So now 1 hour time frame, let's look for possible retracement level. We already know where it wants to sell, right? So but we just want to look for retracement level, which this point is an order block, also a mitigate mission block. I would expect market to try, because I love to see liquidity grabbed before I sell. That is it. So as soon as I see something like this, I will be watching over this point. As soon as market breaks it above, I will sell also further to target this level. So this is my GU analysis, right? So let's go into EU and let's see the similar things on EU rather. So let's go to the monthly time frame. Let's see what the monthly time frame is talking about. So this is a protected, this is a break of structure right here. And then this happens to be what? A protected low, which I don't want market to break it above. Do you understand? I don't want market to actually break this point above. Now, where is market reacting from? Reacting from this level. For this level, I want market to, because that's the strategy I trade. Before this level is taken away, I want market to, before this level begins to sell, I want market to at least break it or kiss this point so we can sell. Right, so it's just like a divergence to uh GBP US dollar. Do you understand that? So now, what are we now looking for? That is, on GU specifically, you can see this point only to hold price. Right, you can see this point only to hold price, which is um you have a daily range. Let's put it that way. To get that. So let's go to the weekly time frame and then let's go and map it out. So on the weekly time frame, we have similar thing. Market close below the CRT, and the market has to come back to take out this point also. And by so doing, we have liquidity resting right around here, right? Which means where do we want to sell from? I want market to take out this liquidity on this EU, on this euro, right? And then sell. That is, you want to see something like this, and let's sell. So let's look the daily time frame. Do we have anything we are looking for? Nope. So this is what I would be seeing. Oh, sorry, this is what I am seeing. I don't want this eye to be broken above. If it does, that is, we have a change of character. So I would just want it to be swept away, so I can look for further sell towards to take out this low. So as soon as this low is taken away, right, we should be expecting market. Why do we want this low to be taken away, right? Because it is the one that actually came back to create this high and then sweep out liquidity on the weekly time frame. This is it, right? This is the low. Let's map it out properly. So it is this low that, oh, sorry, let's say it very well. Okay, market moved high, break of structure, went high, and then sweep out. So it is this high, this low that swept, that caused this high. So it has to be taken away also, right? We have to take it away also. So since we are expecting market to take it away also, we have to check for possible retracement on our higher time frame and monthly time frame. I sorry, our really lower time frame, 1 hour daily time frame. So that is why we come up to market taking out that high and before selling. So this is my time frame. I'm sorry, this is my analysis on Euro US dollar also. So you can see that it looks similar to GU. So let's proceed to GBP GPY, which is also another common pair. And lastly, I will do silver US dollar, so we can know what we should be expecting, right? This is GJ. Right, now let's do the JJ once more. Right, so let's start from the monthly time frame, which it's always best to know what you want to do. So as you can see on the monthly time frame, right, I would mark out this point as a level of change of character. This is a break of structure, and then this is a change of character right here. And then I have an engagement, which means market should come back to come and catch or grab that point. So I would just put a point in order. I mean, sorry, a zone right here. But this is our last protected zone, right? This is what we have. But this is how GJ looks like, right, on the monthly time frame. But because we want to look for buy, which means we'll be looking for buy to target this high. We cannot just wait as usual, wait till market come back to that level because we just want to sell. No, this is monthly time frame. Of course, there are many pips involved while waiting. That is, you are missing a lot of pips while waiting. So rather than that, let's just do a brief analysis on what we are expecting on GJ. So I'll move to 1 week time frame. So let's see what the weekly time frame holds onto. So this is a change of character on the weekly time frame right here. And how is it a change of character? It's very simple as that. This is, we have this break of structure right here. We have this market change character, and then instead of the market to keep on selling because of it has a change of character right here, what did it do? It actually broke it above. You see, it breaks it above, and then close with a body, which means it also change it bias to the upside. So now we've seen a change of character on this 1 week time frame, which makes it, or perhaps we call it, a valid break of structure, right? Let's just put valid break of structure in that level. Do you understand? So now we want to be looking for buy, right? But what I could see is market tries or market comes back to take out this liquidity level, right? And then we have this liquidity, double top liquidity resting above this level, which means on this weekly time frame, market should come and take out this double top. So let's look for it on the daily time frame. I'll look at how it looks on the daily time frame. Right, therefore, market reacted from this zone right? Which it's from the zone we already analyzed, perhaps myself and my student, who were interested to buy from. So the market gave begins to break structure, trying to give this trend line to the upside, right? So this is also a good reason to buy. So, and don't forget this is the daily time frame. So it's not always easy for market, right? So to clear out the trend lines on the higher time frame, it's always easier for it on the lower time frame because the lower time frame holds much of noise and liquidities. But the higher time frame, instead of you seeing if you're seeing a trend line, it's also a liquidity at some point. But if you're seeing a trend line on the higher time frame, it's perhaps telling you that there are a lot of structural movement on the lower time frame, like 1 hour, for 5 minutes, 4 hours time frame. To understand. So like this now, right? This is so if we switch to the 1 hour time frame, we'll be able to see that structure very well. So right here we see a break of structure. We see this point, this other block right here, right here. The market has not perhaps come back to mitigate, right? So okay, okay, this is the other block because it's that candlestick was inside it. So we'll just mark this old candlestick right here. Just mark the old candlestick right there, right? So that is this is our point of interest, or yeah, our area of interest, right? And then you can now you know try as much as possible to refine your trade setup, your trade entry. It is allowed in the chart, but too much refinement makes you lose the particular trade setups you analyzed. So now check what let's check how it looks. Now you can see how well it has been moving, right? Giving a lot of change of character, right? Change of character, coming back to take out liquidity, pushing break structure, right? And then trying to break this high on this 4 hours time frame. So breaking structure also is perhaps a change of character, a break of structure in the market field, right? We have a change of character right here, which means this point should still hold the price, right, as usual. Should still hold the price as usual, right? So that is how this 4 hours time frame looks like. But now on this point, we have this liquidity resting below here, which means market would come in one way or the other to clear out the liquidity before pushed up. That is one thing about it. So what um I will be doing now is going to 1 hour time frame to see a clearer structure, because on the 4 hours time frame I was not able to see a clearer structure. So right here, we don't have a change of character, right? Rather, market just grab the liquidity, like I said, which makes it a double bottom for me, right? Preferably, I'll be marking this point as liquidity. Or others, some traders or traders that trade ICT are marking this as liquidity grab and then be interested to buy from where market is. Now, one thing I would be looking for is, because of I can see market giving this structural movement, which is my entry pattern, right? I would be waiting for market to break this point above. If it does break this point above, right, then I will wait for inducement to be grabbed. Okay, let's use this. I will be waiting for inducement to be grabbed or liquidity. After it breaks this point, I have a change of character. Then if liquidity is grabbed, then switch to my lower time frame for a proper change of character, and then I'll be buying. So where will I be buying to? Of course, this is the first eye that will be buying to, and then this eye is the second eye I will be buying to. So this is how my analysis for GBP GPY. I hope you do your research also, right? After this has been taken away, then I want to see market comes back to come and clear out all of this liquidity that is printed. Do you understand? So I hope you guys do your research also. So you make your analysis, this is my analysis which I am sharing to you guys, and it's at your own risk when you take it, and it's also good to follow it. Why? Because it's it my best analysis, and without confirmation of trading, you would always lose, even if you have or if you follow the best trader analysis, right? Confirmation, it's always good to understand. So let's move to XAG USD, right? Let's see what that ought also. So on silver, right? Same as um, it's same as what? It's same as gold, which in fact it is pips conversion on silver. It's more higher than that of gold, right? So if you are trading silver, please be very careful. Be mindful of the stop loss, because it can drain your account without you calculating it properly. So you have to calculate the proper risk management involved. So on silver, we have this I, which is our liquidity calls, right? Market, that point calls liquidity. So on silver also, we can see that market has been, going higher, right? Around uh April 2011, it was 51. So it was around 2011 we've seen this kind of higher movement on silver last. So other years, 2020, 2021, 2020. So until you get to 2025 before market on silver now begins to push up. So this tells a lot of story that everything on silver, right? It's rumbling around, right? It's just not like gold, like the way gold is pumping every year. But it's also good to trade once you follow the setup, because right now it's correlated. It's perfectly correlated to gold. So once you are trading gold, you can also use one eye, to check into silver. So let's go to the weekly time frame and see what the weekly time frame ought also. So on the weekly time frame, we have this break of structure. This engagement was grabbed, which tells a lot of story. So right here. So and then until we have this break to the downside, right? Until market break this point to the downside, right? We can say yes, I am going to be looking for sell. At the market breaks it, then I will say I'm looking for sell perfectly. But if market didn't break it, that it was rejected by a week, right? I want to say something like this. I want to say something like this on the weekly time frame. Sorry, I want to say something like this on the weekly time frame. Sorry, on the lower time frame, either daily or 4 hours time frame, right? I want to see a change of character precisely on the lower time frame. So I want to see a change of character, just grabbing this liquidity and then change internal structure inside, so I can buy. This is the weekly time frame buyers I have. So now let's look into the the day trading, right? Where whenever we want to, a point at which you can sell to target that liquidity point. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame precisely. Let's go to the 4 hours time frame. So on the 4 hours time frame, we'll see, right, that we did not have a daily range to sell, right? We do not have a daily range to sell, but we can always look for one, because we would be using the internal structure, which is not very advisable, but in some cases you can use it for scalping, right? Internal structure. So right here we have a change of character right here. So this itself is trying to give me a rejection block right here, and consequent encroachment, right? Consequent encroachment. Let's see this. I can see consequent encroachment and that rejection block, right? So what next is, are we still going to sell? Are we still going to buy? Yeah, well, if I would say using the same setup, I'll be waiting for change of character further to buy, right? But what we are seeing currently, it is still buy. I'm not seeing a sell, but um market is not giving me a proper way to to buy. So that is the main reason I would just be looking or waiting for market to what to uh give me a proper direction. So right here we have a change of character. We have this point as liquidity, and then should be expecting market to buy right from this. We're going to draw reverse level of Fibonacci, right, and then we'll see where market is ought to have prepared the bullish move. So right here is where my reverse level is. Right here is where reverse level is. So we'll be expecting that buy from that level. But if in case market fails right and then breaks it below, then I'll be interested to what to sell further. Don't understand to target this level. So this is my day trade analysis, right? This is my day trade analysis. So let's just watch out for the market. Make sure you do your research also, and don't just jump into a trade without further confirmation. Because it is your popular or your always win mentor that drops signals and then you did not follow your risk management. It's not advisable. Do your proper risk management before you take any trade. Do your analysis before you take any trade, and make sure that you accept loss and wins, because this is also part of this business. Every day can never be wins, every day can never be loss. So you should always stick your mindset into that. That is all for now. See you again later during the week, and next week for another weekly analysis. Bye.